Good evening again. Thank you all for coming to this Hamtramck Candidates Forum for Hamtramck City Council election 2023. Now we formed the committee. The committee that's holding this wanted to, bring the candidates in front of you and introduce them and then hear from them what their thoughts, plans about the city. Now this committee consists of Vera Bark. She's a community activist and she had been holding similar events for I think last 4 decades. So everybody knows Ms. Vera Bark. She was going to be here doing the kicking this event off. However, she's sick and she could not make it today. I also I'm going to introduce the committee members. Sheikh Yasir Aga, he's Imam of Islamic Center of Hamtramck. He's sitting back there. Mr. Mutahar Fadl, he's a businessman. He's not here. He'll be here any minute. Mrs. Rebecca Islam, director of APIA Michigan. She's very active in the community. You have seen her a lot here. I am Asam Kamal Rahman. I am trustee for Wayne County Community College, and I'm serving as the chair of this committee. Mr. Adam Al-Harabi is businessman from this community. And last but not least, Mr. Gregory Kirchner. He's from Hamtramck Channel 19. He's also involved with Hamtramck Public Library and arranging this event here. Also with the timekeeping, helping us with Mr. Joe Schauker. The rules of this meeting, Candidates Forum, everybody will have 3 minutes to introduce themselves, their plans, why they're running in this election, and their proposals, plans for the city if they're elected. Now I will ask Rebecca Islam to go through the council candidates, the introduction, and then we'll go to the candidates part of it.
Sure. Do you want me to come up?
And also, we invited all the candidates, all of them confirmed. However, Mohammed Hassan, he's on medical leave, so he said he could not be here. Other two, we are expecting them to be here anytime, any moment. But we're just gonna go ahead and get started, and if they do come, they will join with the question that's awaiting them. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate all of you for coming out. This is the first step of making sure that you are voting for the right candidates in your community that are going to be serving your community. So thank you so much to everyone that decided to come out today. Like Asam Rahman mentioned, we did invite all the candidates. Not everyone is here yet, and some of them declined. But the ones that are here today, I want to personally thank you all for coming. That really does show your commitment to the city. First, we have Ms. Lynn Blasey, who is a teacher and a community activist, and she is also actively working to making sure that Hamtramck is beautiful by maintaining flower beds around the city. So thank you. We also have Naeem Chowdhury, a businessman, and he is also running as an incumbent for his second term. Thank you for joining. And we are also joined by Mr. Nasser Hussain, who is a successful local businessman and a community blogger. So thank you all for joining us. And at this time, we are going to get started with our first questions. And Adam will ask the first question.
Okay, first question is going to...
Excuse me, we will have our candidates go ahead and introduce themselves. Is there a mic thing for that? Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Lynn Blasey and I have been a Hamtramck resident for a little over a decade. I have a bachelor's degree in history with a focus on the Middle East from Michigan State University, and to work towards that bachelor's, I studied at the American University in Cairo, Egypt as well, focusing on, again, history and Arabic language and culture. I currently work in the College for Creative Studies. I am the program manager for a department that provides free art and design classes to 3,000 to 4,000 Detroit area children a year. In Hamtramck, I'm very involved. I'm the vice chair of the Arts and Culture Commission. I am secretary of Hamtramck Community Initiatives. I serve on the Organization and Promotion Subcommittee for the Downtown Development Authority, and I am a founding member and chair of the Hamtramck Area Disaster Recovery Group. I am an avid volunteer with Hamtramck Mutual Aid, and also steward of the planter boxes along Joseph Campo. Some of my priorities for Hamtramck, it's really important that we focus on safety in the community. Some of our highest crime increases in the last year have been related to hit and runs, and so really focusing on reducing speeding, using traffic calming measures, crosswalks near masjids and parks, and speed bumps in neighborhoods will really help protect our residents and slow traffic down. I've also done a lot of work to react to flooding, and as a founder of the Hamtramck Area Disaster Recovery Group, also it's important to continue to do updates to our infrastructure. Our sewer system needs upgrades, and continuing to work with state officials to direct funding and federal officials as well. I also support research-based economic development for Hamtramck, and it's really important for us to focus on promoting our strengths, not only to the community nearby, but to the community at large, so we can attract outside dollars, so we can improve our economy and continue to make lasting investments in our city. I also have a priority to keep Hamtramck welcoming, and our diversity is our strength. A lot of people that move here fall in love with Hamtramck and choose to stay here because of our diverse fabric of our community. And I think it's really important that we continue to embrace our diversity and work together with one another and welcome anybody who comes to our city. 10 seconds left. I also think it's really important to ensure that community stakeholders' voices are included in all of the decisions made in council. Thank you.
Lynn. Because we have a lot of media here as well, and just for visibility, can we have the candidates just come to the podium when you're answering the questions?
Could you identify who the
Go up
media
there.
is?
Sure.
At some point, I would like to know where the media are from.
Okay.
Oh, media.
I know the local Hamtramck, but I don't know the
Sure.
other news agencies.
We have,
I would like
we
to know.
invited members of the Bangla Press Club who are ethnic media representing the Bangladeshi community, and we have few members from that media as well. If there's any other media that are present, just let us know so that we can make sure you're acknowledged as well.
Yeah, media. So from RTV, and then Press Club President, Jalal Ahmed here. Syed Haq right here. He's from media. Would you please stand up, all the media people?
Yeah, if you can just raise your hands. Yep. What's USB 24? Okay, USB is also here.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Good evening, folks. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. My name is Naeem Lian Chowdhury, current council member, City of Hamtramck. Thank you all for being here tonight, this evening. As you know, City of Hamtramck is a diversity community, the whole world in 2 square miles. I'll just briefly tell you a little bit about me. I'm a successful business owner on Conan Street for 20 years. I've been living in this estate 30 years. Started doing business with my father. and now I have operating a independent insurance agent and an accounting firm. I do a personal tax preparation, as well as worldwide shipping from my location here on Conan Street. I'm raising 4 kids. I've been married 17 years. I have my elderly mom living with me and the community. My father served this community 25 years. He passed away 2021 due to COVID. Here's the things that I'd like to accomplish if I get reelected in the next 4 years. My future priorities: parking system, it needs to be improved. The density we have, the community we have is congested. We need to free up some parking system, especially the parking meters on Jos Campo is not fit for the communities. Second thing, the safety. The most important thing, safety for our families, safety for everyone in the communities. Infrastructure. We have an old city, old building, old houses. Those need to be improved. So I'm working toward that. Road safety. I don't know if you know, last month, not in September, in August, we had 30 accidents in 1 month in Hamtramck. That's a huge number of accidents in Hamtramck. And that's something we need to concern about it, because our kids go to school, our folks, everyone goes to the prayer, people go to the shopping. And the driver needs to have a good driving skills if they're on the road, and make sure they focus on the steering and driving. So the road safety is my priority, one of the priority. Cleanliness. We need to clean up our backyard, front yard, our business areas, our homes, anywhere that we publicly visit. We need to take care of our city as a whole. Okay. Support local businesses.
Thank you. So the time is up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And freedom for all. Thank you.
Next would be Nasser.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Nasser Hussein. I've been a resident in Hamtramck since 2005. I've been a member in the Zoning Board of Appeals for probably over 10 years, and currently I'm a member of the Planning Commission in Hamtramck. I'm a father of 5 kids. I work in the printing and graphic design business. I'm running to give you an option, because as I've seen it, the current council members, they just rubber stamp whatever the city tells them to do. You need somebody in the council who's critical, who gives them the opposite viewpoint so they can take the right decisions. Unfortunately, when we go for public comments, most of the time they already made up their minds. So I want to be there to enlighten them and make sure they take the right decisions. For Hamtramck, if you go to my Facebook, there's a lot of things I'm going to do. I already detailed them there. I don't want to repeat the whole thing here, but they cover almost everything, whether the police brutality thing issue, the traffic, the ticketing, the selective enforcement in the city, and many other issues. And thank you for being here again. Thanks.
Thank you. So we'll start with some questions that were prepared by the committee, and then get to questions that were asked by the audience. We'll start with a patch. We'll actually mix them up. We'll start with a patch that were prepared by the committee, then we'll do audience questions from the audience, and go back to questions that were prepared for the committee. So we'll start with the first question, and the first question goes to Lynn. What would you change first in the city if you had the sole power to do so?
Hello, one thing I'd really like to change is I'd like to take time and energy to go through all of our ordinances. They are a hodgepodge of edits that were made over the years, and I really think that it's hard to enforce rules that are unclear to the people who are even making the rules. So one of my big projects that I'd like to tackle is going through each ordinance line by line, eliminating redundancies, clarifying language, making sure that the ordinances make sense for Hamtramck today and the Hamtramck of the future, and make sure that they are also inclusive and easily understood by all residents, not just people with law degrees. So yeah, I'd like to go through the ordinances. Oh, and I really want to include Hamtramck voices in that process. I think it's really important that, as we saw with the animal ordinance last year, that we up front are forward in making sure that we invite people into the conversation that have different viewpoints and perspectives, inform them about the process, and really get feedback from the community so we can make sure that those ordinances are reflective of what's in the best interest of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. The next question is for Councilman Chowdhury. So there are complaints that property taxes for some commercial properties are less than single-family homes. Do you think the tax base is fair? And if not, how do you plan on fixing this? And as well as there are some residential property taxes which are incorrectly determined.
Lane is taller than me, and I'm shorter than Lane. We got to test the microphone. This is a big question, okay, folks? This is that coming. The questions: your commercial or residential? Which one? Commercial and residential taxes? Okay. And how do we fix that? Or
yes. So it's saying right now that
I thought it was a long question. So can you just give me
the question is some business and residential taxes are
increased,
either increased or incorrectly determined. So how do you go about fixing that?
Okay, very good. All right, folks. So the property tax value, as you already know, this is based on the state equalized value. This is coming from the state and Wayne County. And the property values, based on that, the equation, the numbers, they increase. Nowadays, people are buying the properties at highest rate. They're paying so much. And that's determined by the state and the local assessor. It has nothing to do with the city council. Yes, recently we have created a subcommittee to look over this increase on the properties as well as commercial properties. And they are still working on it. I am not one of them, the subcommittee, but we are continuously making communications and trying to mitigate, trying to understand how that increased. But as far as you know, the property paid too much, and that's why it increased. How do we solve this issue? This is a broader issue. This isn't a small, just overnight fixing. Because the property taxes pays the cities itself. You know, we collect the property tax, we pay back the city. I know it is a hardship for the folks that are paying $6,000-$7,000 property taxes. That's a $500 a month. Basically, you're paying a rent. You know, if you look at that way. I am continuously making a communication with our assessor department as well as my city manager to make sure that we can afford to have the home ownership in the city. I have advocated to the Wayne County authority that hey, we need to we need some help because we are highest property taxes in nation. As well as the governor office also being informed by our assessor as well as the council member that we wanted to help our community's residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is for Nas. If you can come up to the podium. If the city partially funds the annual Labor Day festival, should the city be involved in the decision-making process as well?
I think the city shouldn't fund any festival. We have more important things to do. We have sewer problem, we have roads problem, we have safety problems. If somebody wants to make a festival, whether Labor or Bengali festival, Malayali festival, they should cover all the costs and get all the proceeds. The city should stay away from these things. Concentrate on the basic stuff we need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is for Lynn. Code enforcement is coming under scrutiny recently for not enforcing the violations equally. What is your opinion about it, and how can you improve this?
This ties back to my first talking points about our ordinances. I think our ordinances are unclear, and so it is very reasonable for residents to see unequal enforcement across the city. And in my own experience talking to residents, there is definitely concern that, you know, your neighbor's house has grass that's out of control. Why didn't they get a ticket too? I think there needs to be some discussions around reasonable enforcement. If somebody's grass is a centimeter above and their neighbor's is 4 or 5 inches higher than the legal limit, then, you know, should the centimeter person get a ticket and the tall grass person not? So I think there needs to be discussions and relationships built with our code enforcement officers. And also, I've been a part of some of the programs that were developed in response to this very thing, where our elderly and senior residents were getting violations for things that they weren't able to maintain. And so Hamtramck Mutual Aid has developed the Every Neighbor program to help residents avoid code violation tickets. And so this is something that requires a lot of work to you know, look at the ordinances, see what tickets are being written, and then communicate with the code enforcement officers to maybe, you know, look at the whole picture and not just one house at a time. And yeah, so thank you.
9. Next question is for you. How much should a council member be involved in a city day-to-day operations?
How much?
Should a council member as yourself be involved in the day-to-day operations of the city?
Again, well, it's one of the very good questions, folks. I have mentioned that before. The city council members are just a part-time job, you know, part-time positions. I think that we should get more involved. We should be allowed to get more involved with the city day-to-day operation. Due to that, it's overwhelming work in the city hall, and too many things to need to be cleaned up. As far as the ordinances are very old, we have been working on that ordinances to clean up. I would say at least there should be a fixed date. A day to be there and accommodate the community's need, as well as communication establishment with the city official, city administration. And that way that things will be more organized and cleaned up, and we'll get it more done. I think, you know, that's my intention, to have more time in the city hall for the city officials. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is for Brother Nasser. There has been a lot of complaints about the bike lanes in Hamtramck, and many businesses think that this was poorly implemented without their input. Do you think rarely used, as some people might put it, bike lanes are benefiting Hamtramck?
I'm not against bike lanes, but the location they chose is very inconvenient for people and businesses. So I would have them rerouted to St. Aubin Street or Lumpkin, much quieter street and much safer for the bikers. Thank you.
Next question is for Lynn. What is the role of a council member under the city charter?
City council under the city charter's role is to pass the budget, to approve the budget, to make amendments to approve amendments to the budget, and to adjust our ordinances and sometimes our charter to accommodate the needs of the community and the changing needs of the community. And
Okay. The next question is for Councilman Chowdhury. Speeding continues to be a dangerous problem in the city. How do you address this issue?
Another great questions. We already started the speed humps pilot. As you already know, we have installed speed humps, many streets, many roads. That's one way. Other things, we need to invest in our technology, and invest in the technology where technology will catch the speeders. That would help us to mitigate speeding folks, those who are speeding. Traffic system is one of this important thing for modern days to improve, because we are already seeing things happening. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from Nasser. Parking meters have caused a lot of issues in Hamtramck. Businesses have been complaining ever since they were installed. Other cities had similar issues. Do you think there is a better way for parking than the currently installed parking meters?
Yes, the city signed a contract for 5 years. I think 3 years has passed. We have 2 years left. So I already proposed on my Facebook that there will be no violations. You could park there, and at the end of the month, the company will send you a bill to the house. You park for this amount of time, and you owe us this money. Send it to go online and pay it. So there'll be no violations. Only violation will happen if you overstay your 4-hour limits. You get a violation. So I think this is a good solution, and the company would probably agree to it, as they have only 2 years left. And if they don't agree, then we could just cancel the contract at the 5 years end. Thank you.
Okay, so this is for Lynn. The city is going to lose the Wayne County Detention Center along with its revenue. What are your plans or suggestions for overcoming it? Who is responsible for adjusting the budgetary constraints?
I think it's important that Hamtramck has diverse income streams that are not reliant or so heavily on one industry or one business. That really puts us in a tough spot if that business decides to pull out. And one thing I've been talking to the Community and Economic Development Department about is looking at putting together some sort of policy in place where if a business wants to invest in Hamtramck, that we look at have some sort of agreement in place where we can still get tax revenue from income taxes for their employees in exchange for a property tax abatement, and making sure that the income revenue from income taxes would be comparable to what we would have been getting from property taxes anyway. And that is something that has been done in different cities, and I think that's a really promising angle to take, where we want to attract businesses to invest in Hamtramck. We want to encourage businesses to come here, and we want diverse businesses. We don't need all of the same industries here, and that will make us a stronger community, so that when inevitably one decides to leave, it's not such a huge cut to our entire city budget. Thank you.
Naeem? Most residents have no idea how council decisions are made or how it impacts them. How can you better inform them and close the knowledge gap?
Well, I mean, these days everyone has a device in their hand. We have a WhatsApp group, YouTube. Especially Mr. Greg is always broadcasting on Channel 19. That message, put our decisions and our messages out. I would say one thing, that if we do every other month a town hall meeting, if it's possible, that way everybody will come in one place and exchange each other informations and share their ideas and their thinking, and ask questions to the elected official. That would help, the channel or watching the YouTube from the council meeting will help getting the message out. I have my cell phone on the business card, my personal numbers. on the city official card. And you can always call me or send me an email. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question again is for Brother Nasser. Do you think our streets are safe? If not, what are your plans to make them safer?
I just need something to clarify. The 2 minutes, can I talk about any other thing or just limited to the question itself?
Just limit it to that question.
The question itself. Of course, our streets are not safe. A lot of people are speeding. So I had a plan to place cameras, not to give tickets, cameras to identify the speeders. Sometimes it's one or two speeders, but because they go all over the city, you think the whole city is speeding. So to install some cameras and identify these people who are speeding, and with a police officer and some distinguished members of the community, pay them a visit in their houses and ask them not to speed. Less than we'll station a police officer next to their house to go after them, make sure they get a ticket if they speed. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, these questions are now from the audience. This question is for them. Do you support the creation of a civilian police oversight board given the recent history of lawsuits and criminal constellation of Hamtramck PD officers?
I do support the creation of a police oversight board. Specifically in diverse communities, our police force does not represent the cultures and backgrounds of the people that they are serving and protecting. Most of our police officers don't live here, and I think there needs to be some accountability where they know that people are watching and paying attention, and that there can be consequences if they behave inappropriately. And as we have seen, there are lots of opportunities in Hamtramck for our law enforcement to be more engaged and more part of the community, and I think the oversight board might be a path towards that. I definitely want to make sure that our police officers are engaged in the community in ways that are meaningful, and not just the people that pull you over or the people that show up when there's a problem. And I think that would go hand in hand with the oversight board too. Thank you.
So, do you have audience questions? All of them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Repeat them and ask them again.
Okay. But that was just for her.
Oh.
Yeah, that's for her.
Okay, the next question is for Councilman Chowdhury. This is also an audience question. What changes have you initiated in the city during your current term in the office?
Sure. Well, I turned the deficit into a surplus and secured state grants. Thank you.
Next question. How do you feel about diversity, equality, and inclusion, and how will it impact your decision making on council? Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, I am for diversity, inclusion, and everything that makes people treated equally in the city of Hamtramck. The city shouldn't take any position favoring any certain groups or certain ethnicity. City should be fair to everybody and treat them equally.
So this question is for all of you. So if Lynn, if you can add some of the same question, and then Sean. Lynn, then yeah.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a very important part of my everyday life. I serve on the DEI advisory board of the College for Creative Studies, and have revolved my revolve my world around making sure that I understand the needs of our community, that I understand that there are lots of different people in different walks of lives that make up the community around us. And DEI is really about not just not showing favoritism, but it's about making sure that we go the extra mile to protect groups who are coming under attack. We need to make sure that every single person feels safe and welcome in our city. And that doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. This should be a place that is welcoming to all people. And to do that, we need to learn about each other and to understand and to build bridges so that we are truly welcoming and not just on paper. Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan?
Well, the diversity, it was one of my priorities too. In the community that we are growing up or living together is the most diversity community in the nation. Especially Hamtramck has all ethnicity, all race. And I always respect everyone's race, everyone's religious, everyone's beliefs. And doesn't matter where you're from, what you look like, what do you do? Number one, the diversity will make us unity, bring us together. It embraces us to live together, make things better. As you already know, the city hall is already diversified. It wasn't for a long time. Now everyone's in the city hall is coming, working from the different background. And I always emphasize and advocate folks that everyone is welcome in Hamtramck. A lot of folks have lived here, done a lot of things, but doesn't mean they left. They still live here, they still welcome. And that's my goal, always to bring diversity in the community. Thank you.
There's another question for you if you
Sure.
could just answer.
That would work, you know,
Yeah,
if you got a line-up question. So we don't have to keep back and forth.
So there's
But the camera is getting fuzzy. Sure.
there's a resolution in 2021. It says that you voted to approve flying the pride flag, and in 2023 you voted against it. What changed your mind, and basically what's your take on it?
Okay. I knew it was coming. I had a little bit prepared, but nothing written. I always speak from my heart, and that's the thing. So back in 2021, we had a Zoom meeting. We were on a Zoom, the most council meeting. You know, folks, to be honest with you, I don't care what you prefer, what you do, you know. I voted because I believe every human on this earth is created by God. And that's need to be respected. How they prefer things in their own life is their discretion. I did not really understand much of a flying pride flag or a particular group of flag and government's property or public property. So, benefit of the doubt, I voted yes. What made me change my mind in 2023? Folks, I have a faith and belief. And faith and belief come first. And my faith, it's what's drive me and take care of my family. So believe, based on the faith, I decided that it has to be respected, and I voted yes, based on my faith. Thank you. Any other question? Or I can go to the next one.
No, that's it. Thank you for now. The next question is also from an audience member, and it is for Lynn. Well, this is actually for all three of you. All three of you can answer.
Nasi goes next.
Okay, Brother Nasser, you can go ahead and answer. Do you support replacing the city income tax? If so, why?
Replacing or eliminating?
Replacing it. They're particularly asking about replacing it.
Or repealing it, something.
Or repealing it, or replacing it. I believe that residents should have the choice. And it's one of my campaign promises that if I win, I will have it put on the ballot and the residents decide if they want to keep it or if they want to repeal it. That's a choice. Like now, the state law says before any city could impose an income tax, the residents has to vote first. But Hamtramck didn't get the chance. It was before this law where they imposed this income tax. So it's the residents' choice. It'll be placed on the ballot. Whoever wants to keep it, vote yes. Whoever wants to repeal it, vote no, and they will decide for it. Thank you.
Same question, please.
I'm a double winner. I work in Detroit, so I pay Detroit income taxes and Hamtramck income taxes. I also pay state and federal income taxes. The tax structure in the United States is what fuels our government and our economy at that kind of level. Without income taxes, our city budget would not, that's part of why our surplus has happened, is because we actually have a fully staffed city hall who is going around and making sure that people are paying their income taxes, and that's part of why we're in a position of surplus. If we were to eliminate income taxes at this point, we would go back to where we were financially with the receivership, and I don't think that's in the best interest of the city moving forward. I would be interested in exploring that if we're able to increase our tax revenues in other ways, and through business investment, industry investment, but I don't think it would be wise for Hamtramck at this time to eliminate the income tax.
Same.
The same question, yeah.
Income taxes. We all have to pay income taxes. Let me repeat this. I was mumbling a little bit. We all have to pay income taxes. The country is built off of income taxes. The taxpayer country. So income tax needed to be paid in the city of Hamtramck. I pay business taxes, self-employed taxes, property taxes in the city of Hamtramck. I own building and houses. Income tax, many cities don't have it because their property taxes is more than their income tax. So at this time, I don't think we are ready to get rid of income tax department because the city is still in need of revenue to rebuild the city. And I would say we should explore more to see if we can find a way to mitigate that income taxes. It's 1% on 1,000. It's not that much. But what it is, when you don't pay the taxes, you pay the delinquent taxes and interest and penalty. And that probably triggers people to drive away. They don't keep receiving the letters from the income tax departments that, hey, you owe $10, $20, $30. I know, but if you paid it in the first place, you wouldn't be chased down. So income taxes is needed to be here in the city for another few years or 10 years, I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you. We've received several questions on the recent resolution to ban flags other than U.S. and city flags. So we'd like to know each one of you stand on the LGBTQ flag raised in city property. If you can start with us.
First, let me clarify something. In our beliefs, homosexuality is a sin. Whoever is doing it is doing wrong things. Doesn't mean that we'll treat them differently, we'll punish them. No, it doesn't mean that. It's the same as if somebody is committing adultery or stealing, we still tell him it's a sin, but that would mean, do we treat him differently? No. That's why I think the city should stay neutral in this regard. We're not endorsing any behavior. For you, homosexuality might be okay. For me, it's not. When I go pay my bills at the city, I'd like to see something that goes against my religion there. So the city should stay neutral in all these positions. Do not take one side against the other side. Same thing what's happening now in Palestine. As a Muslim, I'd like the city to raise the Palestinian flag in support of the Palestinians. But I know some people, they love Israel. They don't want this. So I take their feeling into consideration, and the city should remain neutral in this. And any other controversial issue, city should stay neutral. And that's why I support the resolution to ban all other flags except city, state, and PO, Prisoners of War flag. was the right decision that Hamtramck took. Other cities took the same decision even before Hamtramck took it, but I don't know why the spotlight was shined on Hamtramck too much. So the city took the right decision. The city should remain neutral. Your own property, you could raise whatever flag you want, and the city should protect you. Anybody who vandalizes your right to raise it should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you.
Okay, Lynn, same question.
In 2013, the Hamtramck City Council gave the power to choose the flags that fly on Joseph Campo over to the Human Relations Commission. In that resolution, the language used was talking about the spirit of diversity in our city and celebrating the differences that we all bring to the culture of Hamtramck. And the second year after that resolution, the Sicilian flag was flown. A few years later, a Native American resident asked for the Cherokee Nation flag to be flown. We've flown the Pan-African flag, and we've flown the flags of people that live in Hamtramck to show them that they are welcome. I have a very hard time with the recent attacks on the Pride flag. The Pride flag stands to represent a diverse community that has undergone a lot of hardships and attacks and persecution over the years. The LGBT community has been an important part of the fabric of Hamtramck since its inception. We have queer members of our community from every background, every culture, every walk of life. And I think it's very important in the spirit of diversity and welcoming and inclusion that we don't shy away from those discussions, but we sit down and we talk about it. What does it mean? The Pride flag is not just about homosexuality. The Pride flag stands for people who are very, very diverse. And there are, in fact, a lot of queer people from multiple faith groups across Hamtramck too, and those people should be equally welcome and accepted in our community. And unfortunately, with the removal of the flag, that's removing that representation and opened up the door and the reality for people to be attacked and their personal property to be attacked across the town.
Thanks. Charlotte.
What was the question? I mean, I can understand the LGBTQ flag, the Pride flag, right? Okay. So in 2013,
I can repeat the question.
no, it's okay, I think.
Yeah, go ahead. Then.
Yeah. In reference to in 2013, City Council passed a resolution to have international flag to be flown in the city properties. No other particulars or any, a group of people to fly their flag. It was exclusively only for the international flag, the country that represents, the flag that represents the country. And that's what passed to the city resolution. Gradually, other folks started emerging other flags and started flying different flags and try to manipulate the resolution. And that's where the problem started. And recently, the LGBTQ flag, it's unfortunately it's banned. It's a particular group, and we want to see the international flag only to be flown. That's why I voted yes. And again, the folks, we have nothing against the LGBTQ group or a particular person. It's just that do we want keep getting different type of flags to be flown in the city properties? What if the ISIS started flying their flag one day? They asked for, hey, I want to fly my flag because I like their flag, or Nazi's flag. So we got to be mindful what we do with our city as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is again for all three of you, and we'll start with Brother Nasser, and this is also an audience question. What volunteer and civic work have you done to better our city outside of running for political office?
I've been mainly involved in the Islamic Center of Hamtramck activities, giving lectures and also attending many of the council meetings, trying to enlighten our council people about resolution that harms the city, but unfortunately they don't listen. And I'm on Facebook, alerting the citizens to any resolutions that might harm them or raise their taxes or giving special treatments to mega corporations. So I try to serve the residents as much as I could. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question for Lynn.
My life revolves around community, and that includes Hamtramck. As I mentioned in my introduction, I am the vice chair of the Hamtramck Arts and Culture Commission, where we promote arts and cultural events across the city and support other activities that other groups are doing. I serve on the organization and promotions subcommittee of the Downtown Development Authority, where we help strategize our plans to make sure that people understand who the DDA is, how that operates. We're also working on a Main Street initiative where we can get some additional targeted funding. I am an avid volunteer with Hamtramck Mutual Aid, where we serve our residents, serve our neighbors, who specifically a lot of the work that we're doing has been focused around that code enforcement violation avoidance program, where in the summers we help our senior and elderly neighbors maintain their yards. In the winter we shovel their snow for them, and we fundraise to make sure that we have salt to help make their homes safer. I also am a founding member and chair of the Hamtramck Area Disaster Recovery Group. In 2021, after the flooding, before FEMA pulled out, I sat down with Kamal and Sam Alasri to write the bylaws for that organization, and that's where we really picked up the work where FEMA knew they had to go to the next disaster. We're here helping residents make sure that they're fully recovered from the flooding incidents that happened in 2021. Also on beautification efforts, I have been maintaining the planter boxes on Joseph Campo since June of 2021 and really involving the community in that project. All of the plants have been donated by residents. All of the work is done by Hamtramck residents and volunteers. And I also host community the first
Thank you, Lynn.
Saturday of every month.
Thank you. Same question for Councilman Chowdhury.
Testing the microphone. Okay. What about the question is, what have I got involved or
Yes.
have I done in the communities?
What volunteer or civic
volunteers.
engagements?
Oh, sure. I'm a board member of SCI for 6 years. I'm a vice president of a local organization that belongs to a Bangladeshi community for a long time. I'm a vice president of a BADC, Public Affairs, Bangladeshi American Democratic Caucus. I'm also a vice president of Alliance of South Asian American Labor. I'm always involved with the community activities. I try my level best to be involved with the community's engagement. I work with, as a sometime liaison, Global Detroit and Wayne Metro agency to bring the community's requirements or things they need. I'm always trying to be involved. Many organizations I belong to, but I just wanted to say a few names of those organizations. And as you know, I'm already serving on the council, constantly communicating with the city administration. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Chowdhury. And at this time, we're also joined by Mr. Muhtasin Sadman, who is a real estate agent aspiring to become a city council member for the first time. Thank you for joining us. We'll give you a minute to just kind of introduce yourself to the audience. And if you can come to the podium to do that, thank you. Yes, you have 3 minutes.
Hello everyone, my name is Muhtasin Sadman, and sorry I was late. I was stuck in a in an emergency, so sorry about that. Thanks everyone to give me opportunity for being here. I came to this country when I was 14. I grew up in Hamtramck, and I'm living in Hamtramck from day one I came to this country. I graduated from U of M last year in computer science. Now I'm going to law school. I'm doing real estate and mortgage. I'm a real estate broker as a profession, and I want to serve this city to make a betterment for people. I have a dream. My dream is to make Hamtramck a better place for all of us, for our future, and to make Hamtramck a new role model city in our country. So please support me. Please give me a chance to vote, and let me know if you have any questions for me. I'll be happy to answer.
I have a question that's going to go for all of them, but since you're at the stage, if you can just answer this question. What is the number one challenge that you see for that Hamtramck is facing right now, and how will you work to address it? The number one challenge that you think Hamtramck is facing right now?
Hamtramck is facing the number one challenge, I would say, diversity. And the most thing, we have people from many communities, and we have a gap in communication. I think we should have a common field so that everyone can understand what everyone's thinking. We should all community people should come together to work to make the city great. I think if we from all diverse group, if we come together and make a group, we can make Hamtramck better.
Thank you. Next question. Same question goes to Brother Nas.
There is no single question that we could say is the most important. For me, it's quite a few questions. One of them is selective enforcement of ordinances, making the city thrive by taking the right decisions to attract businesses. From my experience, Hamtramck is one of the worst cities for businesses. I run a business here and I run a business in Dearborn. Difference between day and night between the three. So we have to make the city more accommodating for businesses. Management, most of the council people we have, unfortunately, they don't know what they're doing. So we need people there who know what they're doing. And other things, hopefully that will address if the people choose us to the council. Thank you.
Lynn?
This is a huge question. I already talked a lot about my plans to work on the ordinances, so that kind of ties into it. I do think that we have a lot of opportunities to really make informed decisions as a city. And one thing I plan to do when I'm on council, I already do it now, is really engage the community, and if there's decisions coming before council that we could look to another city for their best practices, specifically around businesses investing in our city and attracting new businesses to our city. I think it's really important that we are making sure that we're addressing our immediate needs, but we're also setting our city and residents up for the future to make sure that we're looking ahead to what's coming. If we are moving towards electronic vehicles, are we looking for infrastructure that's going to support that so we can attract people in the future as well? And that takes a team on council that is on the same page and willing to do the research and put the time in to make sure that every single decision that we make now is a positive decision that impacts us immediately, but also into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. The Councilman Chowdhury.
Do you mind repeating the question?
What is the number one challenge Hamtramck is facing right now, and how will you work to address it?
Very great questions. The number one challenges that we are facing is the property taxes. The property taxes is complaints coming from all directions. And That is my number one priority, to implement something or mitigate or find a solution to bring our residents an affordable housing. In order to get it done, all this city council, including mayor, has to be on one page and making the informative decisions to betterment of the community. There are many things to do in the city that is going on that we need to fix up. But priorities are property tax, parking meters, our roads, and one thing, and also alleyway. Alleyway is important to have people to go to their parking. That's one of the things that I've been emphasizing, that we need to work together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, this is another question from the audience, and it's for Muhtasin Sadman. So the question is, your literature states you are pursuing a law degree. Where are you going to school? What year are you? And how will you balance your schoolwork with city elected official duties?
So I'm currently in 1L. I just started my semester in last fall, and I'm going to Trinity Law School. And it's actually located in California. I'm doing it's an online degree. So when the way I will balance is like it's a time management thing. And from profession I do real estate, and it's self-employment. I don't have to do a 9-to-5 job, so it will allow me to work in the city. So I'm available for all the residents of the city for like 24/7, and everyone will find me in my office. It's so that's how like I'll balance my work and job and my school.
Thank you. The next question is for everyone. So Sadman, you can stay. So Hamtramck is a small city surrounded by, in many ways, dependent on Detroit. How do you view the relationship between the two cities, and what will you do to enhance and strengthen it? This also applies between the relationship between Hamtramck and Wayne County.
Can you repeat one more time?
Yeah, so they're asking that Hamtramck is very surrounded and dependent on Detroit in many ways. What will you do to enhance the relationship between both cities as well as Wayne County at large?
So our vision should be like they should learn from us. We should make Hamtramck the way like Detroit should learn. We should bring more business. We should bring more investor in our city, and we should make our downtown Hamtramck like the way same the Dearborn did. We should bring more people to come to our city for visit. We should bring more tourists. We should bring a get together hub in our city so that many people come in and they invest there itself, and we will have more business. Right now in Justice Temple, the way we have parking meters is hampering our businesses. So my one goal should be like we should do something, and we should make proposal to remove or make small hours for parking meters and bring more business, and that's how our city will flourish. Our city will be it will be a role model to Detroit and Wayne County.
Thank you. The same question goes for the other candidates as well, so we'll go to Brother Nasser. If you need me to repeat the question, just let me know. Okay.
I think currently we have a mutual aid between Hamtramck Fire Department and Detroit Fire Department, where they both respond to any fire incidents nearby. This is a good thing, and we should expand it. In any program that we could approach Detroit to share the burden with them, I think it's a good thing. And same applies to the Wayne County. We should cooperate with them. And any programs that will save the city money or time, we should enroll in it. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question for Councilman Chowdhury.
All right. So how do we build a relationship with our big brother, the D, Detroit? All right. I attended many of their events, and I have exchanged my information with Mike Dolkin's office, Councilor's office, as well as Wayne County Commissioner Martha G. Scott. I sometimes email Wayne County Authority regarding the roads and other things. And that's my way of communicating with Detroit. I have, always look up to the Detroit because it's the largest city in the Detroit, in Michigan. And the Detroit has a lot of resources we don't, and we need the resources to help us, a city like us. So I'm always open and communicating with the folks in Detroit in the 30 to have a communications and have an establishment with the city of Hamtramck. And they have been very helpful for the Hamtramck. Thank you.
Lynn?
The key word here is relationships. We can't work together if we don't build relationships. I have a strong working relationship with our Wayne County Commissioner, Martha G. Scott. I have long-standing relationships across Detroit, specifically in the arts sector, since I've worked in the arts field for over 15 years now, and also different organizations across Detroit, nonprofits, foundations, and the like. And it takes time to build those relationships so that you can call on the people when you have the need. And with the Hamtramck Area Disaster Recovery Group, our flood recovery work, we've been building relationships with organizations to support Hamtramckans right here. Those partnerships are broad and specific at the same time, making sure that we are meeting the needs, the real needs of residents. And when I am on council, the Michigan Municipal League and other doors will be open so I can continue to build those relationships and pivot them from arts focus and flood recovery focus to more municipal focus as well. Thank you.
Okay, I'll ask a few questions now. This question is for Mr. Nasser Hussain. Now we have few more questions left, and then I know we're towards the end of the program, and we'll have a 1 minute recovery or conclusion remarks by the candidates. Your question is, now I don't know, this is from the audience, so I don't know if your statement is true, but they're referring to a statement
Sure.
you made. You have made yourself known for being anti-tax and have said things like that the city should be run by volunteers. How do you run a city without revenue and pay its employees? How would that work?
I never said the city should be run by volunteers. I think this came up when I proposed a police review board and said volunteers could demand it and other boards. The tax, I'm not anti-taxing. The property tax will be there. My issue with the tax is only with the income tax, which I propose to give the residents a choice. Put it on the ballot. If the residents want to keep paying the income tax, they just say, yes, we want to keep it. If they don't, they don't. The city has money. It's spending money left and right. Just this year, they spent, I think, around $400,000 to just replace the carpet in City Hall. They spend tens and tens of thousands to get new ACs for the different offices. If you follow, I follow the city council agenda and meeting, they have money, the money is there. And if people insist on giving them the income tax money, hoping that they'll spend it wisely, I think they're wrong. From my personal perspective, income tax should be eliminated. But I will make it up for the people to decide on the ballot. I know a lot of people here, they start in Hamtramck. Once they start making money, they leave. Why? Because Warren doesn't have income tax. Sterling Heights doesn't have income tax. Dearborn doesn't have income tax. And we end up as a poor city. Once you eliminate this income tax, the wealthy people will stay in Hamtramck, spend money in Hamtramck, pay property tax in Hamtramck, and this will ensure that the city thrives. This is a very simple no-brainer. Income tax in Hamtramck, in my opinion, should be eliminated, but the residents will decide. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is for everybody. Is there a question? I'll start with Lynn, and then we can just go through the list. What is your vision of the ideal community? What would you like to do to move Hamtramck towards that ideal?
My vision for an ideal community in Hamtramck is pretty reflective of where we are now, actually. That might surprise people, but we are a vibrant, diverse community that lives together, lives alongside one another. My street is full of people from all over the entire world, every background, every religion, and we live harmoniously. So community-wise, I think we have a solid foundation. There are things that City Council and administration and our elected officials do need to work on that would make that even better, including, as I've said, the ordinances, including making sure that we have diverse revenue streams so that we're not put at risk when when one industry fails and another industry fails as well. So the ideal community is, a more solid tax revenue base, more diverse businesses here in the city. We're working on the DDA towards projects that would make our downtown very robust. I think also being connected more intentionally to our neighbors in Detroit and Highland Park. One way that is happening is through the Joe Louis Greenway, where people can move easily without cars between communities. And when you're not in a car, you can really stop and see people and understand and know people better than if you're just cruising right past them in their cars. And I think that would go a long ways towards building relationships as well. I think there is room for improvement as well in how the decisions are made in council, making sure that all our decisions are informed and based on best practices. Thank you.
Naib Chaudhary. What is your vision of the ideal community? What would you like to do to move Hamtramck towards this ideal?
My visions for ideal communities, we want to make it where people can live together and convenient way. I'm making these streets or the road, greenway and bike lanes and other things to take away of people's freedom. It's nice to have bike lanes and bike riders, but the city that we live in is an old city, and the streets are very narrow. The roads are not wide enough to put other things along with the cars. Everyone's in the city drive cars, every family. Bike, I have a bike. My kids ride bikes. The ideal community looking for, day-to-day operating their life to take care of their families, their needs. They want to go to mosque, they want to go to church, they want to go to shopping malls, they want to go to park, easy way. Not making it all difficult things that they're not adapted to. The folks here, it's a nice folks living in Hamtramck, and I love where you live. And things that we're trying to do, it doesn't fit for the communities. So I'll be working toward this where we can accommodate everybody in this community, so that we can all share our values and respect and our dignity. Thank you.
Muhtasin Sadman. What is your vision of the ideal community? What would you like to do to move Hamtramck towards that ideal?
My vision for Hamtramck is I see a dream where we'll have Hamtramck as a richest city in this country. So the main thing to have that to have that thing is like we have to get revenue. We have to make the revenue from every fields. One thing the way that I said before, we can bring more businesses, but cities should create more events so that people can come and join those events, and city make the money from those events. We will have sponsors. There's many businessmen who will sponsor on those events, and we can have so that people will see this city, they will come to the city and visit the city for those events. And we should have more stores. We should have we should work on our school board too, and our educational institutions to have better education for our kids. Those things all work together to my ideal Hamtramck and my vision toward a better Hamtramck for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Nasser Hussain, what is your vision of the ideal community? What would you like to do to move Hamtramck towards this ideal?
I'd like to see Hamtramck as one family where everybody cares about the others, regardless in our differences of value system or religions or cultures. And if I win the seat on the council, I'll try to make this thing happen. I remember when I came from New York, like first month I got a letter from the city. You haven't paid your income taxes, you'll be put in jail for 30 days. I just came from New York, so the way the city runs, it doesn't encourage this vision. It's confrontational attitude, the city, you gotta take it. If you don't fix it, it will be fined and violations. I want to make it a more caring city, more lenient city, and help the people instead of having a confrontational relationship with them. And if you go to my Facebook, I propose a lot of things which will achieve this, hopefully. Thank you.
Well, so before you go, so one last question for everybody. So I know everybody has been very serious, very seriously listening to all these questions and everything. Now, fun question. Adam is going to ask the fun question for everybody.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and we actually saved this to the last on purpose. What's your favorite restaurant or business in Hamtramck?
It used to be Royal Kebab. I called them like a week ago, and they told me they were doing the finishing touches, and they will open soon. Hopefully, that's right. They told me this quite a few times before. But I like them all. Sometimes I go to a Bengali restaurants. I like spicy food. Sometimes Yemeni. The good thing about Hamtramck, you have all varieties. I'm just missing a Moroccan food restaurant. I used to go to them in New York, and hopefully somebody will have the initiative and open one here. Thank you.
Thank you. Lynn? Yep.
This is a loaded question coming from a businessman. I'm going to answer indirectly and say that I love the diversity of our restaurants here in Hamtramck. Personally, I have food allergies, which makes it really hard to eat in American restaurants. And so it's really nice to know that the restaurants here in Hamtramck don't use super processed foods that aren't safe for me. So I can bring my family to eat Yemeni food at Sheba and Bangladeshi food at New Medina, and get a deli sandwich and get sushi and tacos and Polish food. And I think that's part of the beauty that makes up our city. And as far as businesses go, we could use a little bit more diversity. We have a lot of really great shops, but if I had to give a few shout outs, I really appreciate the resale and thrifting businesses we have in Hamtramck. I think those are especially interesting because it's new stock every time you go in, so it's not the same shopping experience every time. But I also do all my shopping in Hamtramck. So I go to Nice Price for my rugs and some kitchenwares. I got a blender from one of the businesses off Joseph Campo up here. I do my grocery shopping at Al Harmain. I get my pork from Srodex. And so I think I like the diversity, but I would love a little bit more diversity in the shopping side of things.
Thank you. Councilman?
Lynn covered everybody's actually. She didn't just specifically say one restaurant. Well, growing up here, I have eaten many restaurants. I like American food too, if it's halal. Like I ate at the California Burgers this afternoon. Okay, they're great, delicious. I ate at Yemen Cafe, and most of the time late night craving. I go to a New Medina restaurant, Aladdin restaurants. Name a few. They're halal and spicy. Diversity food makes the community coming together and greatness of the different ethnicity food. Bringing halal food to this community, it makes it a lot of easier to access their food. Many restaurants offer halal, so that's a good thing. But as far as the entire city has many delicious food, everybody carry very good foods in one thing to another. So I go to every places. I do like that new place that have been opened. I do mention because the gentleman, the owner of that, put in a lot of money and lots of things inside this. It's called Everyday Super Discount, Kenif and Killinger. You should check it out. He's got the Walmart, like the entire store has a lot of things. And I like it, from fishing to hunting to household items and everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Martin.
In terms of restaurants, I would love to have for Hamtramck one restaurant that will open like 7 days a week and that will be open for midnight, late midnight, because we have many working class, we have many workers came from late night shift and they have to go to other cities for food, for have dinner. So it should be better for all of us who basically who work late night shift and who is more like, who is a bachelor, to have restaurants in Hamtramck that will be open late midnights. And we don't have many Indian and Pakistani restaurants, and I love Yemeni food too. And I went to many Polish restaurants too. In Polish Cafe is one of my favorite one. So we should bring more restaurants and more coffee shops where college students and many youth can hang out and then that's how like many students will come to our city to visit. Thank you.
Thank you. And as for closing remarks, we'd like to once again thank you all for joining us, and you will all have 1 minute for your closing remarks. We'll start with Lynn. Go ahead.
I'd like to thank you all for coming out today and thank everybody who's watching. I hope you consider voting for me. I am a candidate who is informed and does research and builds relationships to make sure that I am up to date with best practices. I network to build relationships, to ask peers what those best practices are, ask their opinions on what direction our state should go, so that when I am on council, I can bring that decision making to the plate and make sure that council, or at least my vote, is representing the voices of residents and also what's in the best interest of Hamtramck in the short term and the long term. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Councilman Chowdhury.
1 minute, huh? Can I get a 1 minute and 2 seconds? All right, start. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. I'd like to thank Mr. Adam, Mr. Rahman, Ms. Rebecca, APIA, and the media partners, and all the residents that you have showed up and listened to us patiently. Please allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Naeem Leon Chowdhury, a proud resident of Hamtramck since high school days. Speaking from my experience, I'm a certified insurance agent, and I have been serving the community over 2 decades. This city has been my home, my workplace, shaping my journey from childhood to adulthood. I have witnessed its strength, its challenges, and its incredible potential. As I stand before you today, I believe my experience as a counselor and ability to connect with people from diverse backgrounds make an ideal candidate for the upcoming election. Thank you so much for being here. It's 1 minute is up already. God bless you all. God bless
Thank you.
everybody.
That was 1 minute and 2 seconds, just like you asked. Thank you. All right, Muhtasin Sadman.
Look at this thing.
Thank you everyone for being here tonight with us. Thank you all organizers. Thank you media partners to give us opportunity to be here tonight. My name is Muhtasin and I'm running for Hamtramck City Council. I grew up in this city. I went to Hamtramck High School. This city taught me to work on my American dream. This city made me to see a dream as an immigrant when I came to this country. Now I want to work for all residents of this city to achieve their American dream, to help them to achieve their dreams, to help the youth to pursue their dreams, for the youth to go to the college or whatever they do, if they don't want to do business or everything, to help them be an entrepreneur in this country. Thank you. Please support me. Please vote me on number 7. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, Brother Nasser Hussain.
I thank the organizers of this event and the attendees, and I hope that you vote for me in the elections. You need somebody who's critical, who knows what's going on, and whether you vote for me or not, I'll still continue to fight for the residents of Hamtramck. I'll fight against selective enforcement, against tax cut to the mega corporations, and against anything that will harm the residents. Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to our candidates, those who showed up patiently. On behalf of the committee, I would like to thank everyone for coming and participating and submitting your questions and listening, and hopefully you go home with better knowledge than you came in about the candidates. Our thanks to all the candidates for participating in this, not debate, but forum. I would like to thank all the board members and volunteers for making this happen. We thank Hamtramck Public Library for providing us the facility. Finally, our sincere thanks to Mr. Gregory KIRCHNER for taking time to lead this, set things up, recruiting volunteers, and making this happen for our candidates. Hopefully, some of our citizens are better informed today about the candidates, and you continue to ask them questions. They're around, and they will be around till election day. So good luck to all the candidates, and thank you very much again.